Have you ever noticed that after turning 50, your body sometimes starts doing strange things that seem small, easy to ignore, maybe even harmless? A little fatigue here, slight dizziness there, a strange change in sleep. Maybe you blame stress, getting older, or simply having a busy day. But what if your body is trying to send you signals? What if some of these quiet changes are not random at all? Millions of people dismiss subtle symptoms every year because they don't feel serious enough to worry about. The problem is that many major health conditions don't begin with dramatic pain or sudden emergencies. They often begin quietly. They begin with whispers before they become screams. And after age 50, paying attention becomes more important than ever. As the body ages, many internal systems begin changing. Blood vessels gradually lose flexibility. Muscles naturally decrease in strength. Hormone levels shift. Recovery slows down. The body's warning system can also become harder to notice because many symptoms develop slowly over time. That's why certain signs that seem small can sometimes point toward bigger issues developing beneath the surface. Today we're going to explore 5 silent signs that should never be ignored after 50. Not because they automatically mean something serious is happening, but because they could be your body's way of asking for attention before larger problems appear. Let's begin with the first sign. Sign number 1, unusual fatigue that doesn't make sense. Everyone gets tired, but this isn't the kind of tired feeling that follows a long day or poor sleep. This is different. Imagine waking up in the morning after what should have been a full night of rest and still feeling exhausted. You drink coffee, move around, maybe take a shower, but your energy never truly arrives. You feel drained for days. You tell yourself, maybe I'm just getting older. But persistent fatigue isn't simply a normal part of aging. Inside your body, energy production depends on many systems working together. Your heart delivers oxygen-rich blood. Your lungs provide oxygen. Your thyroid helps regulate metabolism. Blood sugar stays balanced. Cells convert nutrients into usable energy. When something starts becoming disrupted, fatigue may appear before anything else does. Low iron levels, thyroid problems, blood sugar changes, sleep disorders, heart issues, nutritional deficiencies, and even certain medical conditions can all quietly reduce energy levels. Sometimes people spend months adapting to tiredness without realizing something changed. They reduce activities, they avoid stairs, they stop exercising, they slowly shrink their world. The problem is that gradual changes can become invisible because they happen slowly. Ask yourself, have everyday tasks become harder than they used to be? Do simple activities suddenly feel more exhausting? Has your energy changed significantly within recent months? If the answer is yes, your body could be asking for attention. Now let's move to sign number 2. Unexpected shortness of breath during normal activities. Imagine walking upstairs you've climbed hundreds of times before, but suddenly you feel more winded. Or perhaps you're walking around a store, carrying groceries, or doing simple household activities, and notice yourself breathing harder than usual. Many people immediately assume, I'm out of shape. Sometimes that's true, but breathing changes can sometimes tell a larger story. Your body depends on oxygen delivery every second of every day. Your lungs bring oxygen in. Your heart pumps oxygen-rich blood throughout your body. When something interferes with that process, shortness of breath may appear early. Heart conditions, circulation problems, lung issues, anemia, reduced physical conditioning, and other health factors can all contribute. Again, the danger isn't always dramatic symptoms. Sometimes the body sends very quiet signals first. People often adapt without realizing it. They walk slower, take more breaks, avoid physical activity. Over time, they forget how they felt 6 months earlier, and that comparison matters because sudden changes deserve attention. Now for sign number 3, changes in balance or unexpected dizziness. Have you ever stood up and suddenly felt lightheaded or walked across a room and felt slightly unstable? Maybe it only lasts a few seconds. Maybe it disappears quickly, so you ignore it. But balance inside the human body is incredibly complex. Your brain constantly processes information from your eyes, inner ears, muscles, joints, and nervous system. When one part becomes disrupted, balance may change. Blood pressure shifts, dehydration, medication effects, circulation changes, inner ear problems, blood sugar fluctuations, and neurological issues can sometimes create subtle symptoms. People often dismiss these episodes because they come and go, but small repeated events deserve attention, especially after 50, because falling risk increases with age and prevention becomes far easier than recovery. And sometimes dizziness isn't only about balance. Sometimes it's your body's way of saying something deeper needs attention. Now let's continue with sign number 4. Sign number 4, changes in memory, focus, or mental sharpness. Everyone forgets things occasionally. You walk into a room and suddenly forget why you went there. You lose your keys. You forget a name for a moment. That happens to almost everyone, but there can be a difference between normal occasional forgetfulness and noticeable changes that begin happening more frequently. Maybe you're suddenly struggling to focus during conversations. You forget appointments more often. You reread the same sentence several times. Simple tasks that once felt automatic now require more effort. You start feeling mentally slower. Many people immediately tell themselves, I'm just getting older. But the brain is one of the most energy-demanding organs in the human body. Even though it represents only a small percentage of body weight, it consumes a large amount of oxygen and nutrients every day. When circulation changes, sleep quality declines, stress remains high, nutritional deficiencies develop, or blood sugar becomes unstable, the brain can sometimes respond in subtle ways. Sleep also plays an enormous role. During deep sleep, the brain performs important maintenance functions. It processes information, helps strengthen memory, and removes waste products that build up during the day. Poor sleep over long periods can affect attention, mood, and mental clarity. Chronic stress can contribute too. When stress hormones stay elevated for extended periods, concentration and memory may begin feeling different. The important point is this: pay attention to changes, not isolated moments. Patterns. Because patterns can reveal things single events cannot. If people around you begin noticing changes before you do, that's also worth paying attention to. Let's move to the fifth and final sign: unexpected changes in weight, appetite, or body habits. This one surprises many people. Imagine losing weight even though you haven't changed your diet. Or perhaps you suddenly gain weight without understanding why. Maybe your appetite changes dramatically. Maybe you're eating less, but gaining weight. Or eating normally but losing weight. Inside the body, weight isn't controlled by one system alone. It's influenced by metabolism, hormones, digestion, physical activity, sleep quality, stress levels, medications, and many other factors working together. Or sometimes changes occur gradually. 5 pounds, 10 pounds, maybe more. People often tell themselves it'll probably return to normal. Sometimes it does, but unexplained changes deserve attention because the body usually changes for a reason. The same applies to changes in digestion, bathroom habits, or unusual discomfort that continues over time. Again, this does not automatically mean something serious is happening, but the body rarely sends repeated signals without a cause. Now notice something important. None of the 5 signs we discussed today are dramatic emergencies by themselves. Fatigue, breathing changes, dizziness, memory changes, weight changes. On their own, each one can have many explanations. That's exactly why people ignore them. Because they seem small. Because they seem ordinary. Because life is busy. But many health problems begin with ordinary symptoms. Not flashing warning lights. Not severe pain. Just subtle changes. Whispers. And here's what often happens. People adjust slowly. They normalize symptoms. They tell themselves, I'm fine. I'm getting older. It's probably stress. Weeks turn into months. Months turn into years. Then suddenly a larger problem appears and they wonder why they didn't notice earlier. The truth is that paying attention isn't about becoming afraid. It's about becoming aware. There's a big difference. Awareness means understanding your own body. Awareness means noticing changes. Awareness means respecting symptoms without panicking. Because the earlier problems are recognized, the more options often exist. So what practical steps can help? Start simple. Stay physically active. Keep regular movement part of daily life. Prioritize sleep. Stay hydrated, eat balanced meals, schedule regular health checkups, monitor blood pressure if recommended. Pay attention to changes rather than assuming everything is normal. And perhaps most importantly, trust yourself. You know your body better than anyone else. If something consistently feels different, don't immediately dismiss it, because sometimes the body speaks quietly before it speaks loudly. And after 50, listening carefully may become one of the most important health habits of all. And there's one more thing that often gets overlooked. Many people believe that serious health problems appear suddenly, almost out of nowhere. One day everything feels normal, and the next day something changes dramatically. But in reality, the body is constantly communicating. The challenge is that it doesn't always communicate in obvious ways. Think about your car for a moment. Before a major breakdown happens, small things usually appear first. Maybe an unusual sound, maybe a warning light, maybe the engine doesn't feel quite right. Ignoring those signs doesn't make them disappear. The human body works in a similar way. Small signals can appear long before bigger problems develop. And after age 50, paying attention becomes even more important because natural changes inside the body can make recovery slower and prevention more valuable. Now, let's talk about something that often creates confusion. People sometimes hear information like this and immediately become worried. They begin thinking, wait, I feel tired sometimes. I get dizzy occasionally. I forget things too. But remember something important. Experiencing one symptom does not automatically mean something serious is happening. Bodies are complicated. Stress can affect sleep. Poor sleep can affect energy. Low activity levels can affect balance. Dehydration can affect focus. Life itself can create temporary symptoms. The goal isn't fear. The goal is awareness. There's a huge difference. Fear causes panic. Awareness creates action. Awareness says, let me pay attention. Let me notice patterns. Let me take care of myself. That's a completely different mindset. And sometimes the smallest daily habits make the biggest difference. For example, a simple 20 to 30 minute walk, better hydration, improving sleep routines, reducing excessive sugar intake. Strength training a few times per week, managing stress levels, staying socially active. These habits might seem ordinary, but over months and years, they can create powerful changes. Because health usually isn't built in one dramatic moment. It's built in small moments repeated over and over again. Small choices become routines. Routines become habits. Habits become your future. And here's a question worth asking yourself. If your body started sending quiet signals today, would you notice them? Would you slow down enough to listen? Or would you explain them away? Because many people spend years taking care of work, responsibilities, family members, and everyone around them while ignoring themselves. They postpone checkups. They postpone exercise. They postpone rest. They postpone health. Until one day they realize health isn't something you can always postpone forever. The good news is this. Your body has an incredible ability to adapt and respond when you start supporting it. Small improvements today can create meaningful changes later. Starting healthier habits at 50, 60, 70, or beyond is still starting, and starting matters more than waiting for the perfect moment. Because the perfect moment usually never arrives. The best moment often becomes the moment you decide, I'm going to pay attention. I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to stop ignoring what my body may be trying to tell me. Because sometimes the most powerful health decision isn't a medication, isn't a machine, isn't a treatment. Sometimes it's simply listening. Listening before whispers become warnings. Listening before warnings become problems. Listening while you still have the opportunity to make changes. If you found this information useful, take a moment to like the video and share it with someone over 50 who might benefit from hearing it. Because one small piece of information at the right time can sometimes change far more than people realize. Before we finish, remember this. Getting older doesn't automatically mean getting weaker. It doesn't automatically mean losing energy, losing mobility, or accepting every uncomfortable change as normal aging. Except many people stay active, independent, and healthy well into their later years. Not because they found some secret shortcut, but because they paid attention to their bodies and took action early. The body is constantly changing, but many of those changes respond to daily choices. The food you eat, the sleep you get, the way you move, the stress you carry, the habits you repeat every single day. These small decisions may not seem important today, but over time, they add up in ways most people never realize. And maybe that's the biggest message of all. Don't wait for a crisis to start caring about your health. Don't wait for pain. Don't wait for fear. Don't wait for a warning sign to become a serious problem. Start paying attention now, because sometimes protecting your future health doesn't begin with something big. Sometimes it begins with noticing something small. And that small step today could create a very different tomorrow. If you enjoyed this video and found it useful, leave a like and subscribe for more health information and practical tips that can help you live stronger, healthier, and